Okay, we put some of this Jamestown Distributors TotalBoat thickened epoxy called THIXO in between these slabs of cypress and some marine grade plywood. We're gluing up a blank for a tiller, so we coated the inside faces, both sides, let it wet out a little bit, then spread the THIXO around with a brush, and then we go to clamp it. I'm going to put on just enough clamping pressure where we start to see the epoxy squeeze out of the joint. So clamp it up a little bit. You see that epoxy squeezing out. That's as much pressure as you want to put on there. You don't want to clamp it. It's not like a wood glue where you got to get a lot of clamping pressure going. So clamp up one side there. We'll turn it over, and boys probably get things done twice as fast someday if I had two hands. I'm going to get that on there, move it out towards the edge a little bit. Start clamping. Start watching for that epoxy to, once it starts squeezing out, that's all the pressure you need. You can clamp too much and starve the joint. In other words, you're squeezing all the epoxy out of there. It's the so that's good. Stop right there. And try to keep most of the epoxy on cans. I get a little glob there, and that'll interfere with that clamp, so I'll have to take a little old dull chisel or old screwdriver or something later and chip that off of there. Especially don't want to get little sharp bits of that poking out. In case you're wondering about the clamps, they're named after family and friends, so we're out here working on the boat, we can see something getting clamped up, reminds us of folks out there, a sister-in-law, in-law's brother, who was out here, Winnie Davis. So that's going to be the rudder blank. By rudder blank, I mean tiller blank. Tiller, we're going to cut a tiller out of this piece right here once it gets all dried up. This is the first tiller for the Penobscot. It failed because we've got a bunch of loose grain here at the end where it takes a lot of stress, and this piece kept shearing, so we put in a piece of teak, and so it stopped shearing there and it just moved up and started shearing there. And Skipper says she wants something that's a little bit straighter, that doesn't take as much of a down curve, kind of having to reach down a little too far in the boat for it. So we'll have it come out there, and then from there we'll go about straight out. Maybe put a little goose egg, a little Hirshoff detail on the end of it or something. It'll stay about the same length. We're also going to change up how we attach it. Here's the Penobscot rudder. It was notching into this slot about 7/8 of an inch, which meant everything had to neck down and get small to go in there, and so once you started pushing on it, it was easy to crack it. What we're going to do now is make it as wide as this yoke is up here, and just put a metal strap that runs on the outside of the yoke, and it'll run, metal straps will run on the outside of this tiller blank. And it's going to be just a little wide. Once it's all glued up and dried, we'll come in and we'll shave some off a little bit side, so we'll have a nice laminated tiller with a little piece of marine grade plywood in the middle and two pieces of nice cypress on the outside. That's what we're doing. We need to close up shop now before this little storm drifts over our way. Hope y'all are having a great one.